The corridors of the Galactic Military Academy's Delta Wing were usually bustling with activity during the evening meal period, but tonight an unusual tension hung in the air. Cadet Supervisor HFY monitored the security feeds from his control station, noting the conspicuous absence of several prominent students from the main dining hall. "Supervisor," his assistant Velnix called out, her crystalline form flickering with concern. "I'm detecting an anomalous gathering in Service Corridor 7B. 7 cadets, all from prominent military families." HFY's 4 eyes focused on the indicated screen, where he could see the group in question: 3 Altrian nobles, 2 Centaurian elites, a Korthak warrior-born, and a Nexary from the ruling caste. At the center of their loose formation stood a single human figure, Cadet Lisa Rodriguez from the outer colonies. "Ah," HFY sighed, recognizing the setup. "Another disciplinary action by the self-appointed academy hierarchy." The bullying had been escalating for weeks. Rodriguez, despite her exemplary academic and physical performance, had committed the unforgivable sin of outperforming students whose families had purchased their positions through political influence. Her crime was being better than them, while coming from a species the elite considered primitive. "Should we intervene?" Velnix asked, though they both knew the answer. Official academy policy discouraged interference in student conflicts, especially when the aggressors came from families who donated generously to the institution. On the screen, Cadet Vex Kull, the Altrian ringleader, stepped forward with the casual arrogance that came from a lifetime of unopposed privilege. "Deathworlder," he sneered, his 4 arms spread in an intimidating display. "You've embarrassed your betters for the last time. Perhaps a lesson in proper hierarchy will remind you of your place." Lisa stood perfectly still, her hands at her sides, watching as the 7 cadets formed a circle around her. Her expression was calm, almost bored. "Look," she said quietly, "I really don't want to do this. Why don't you guys just walk away, and we can pretend this never happened?" Cadet Thrinvor, the massive Korthak, laughed, a sound like grinding stone. "The Deathworlder thinks she can threaten us. How amusing." "Not threatening," Lisa replied with a slight shrug. "Just trying to be nice." Vex Kull raised his primary arm, the signal the group had clearly rehearsed. "Lesson time, primitive." The attack began with coordinated precision, 7 advanced alien species moving in perfect synchronization, using combat techniques refined over millennia of military tradition. It ended 9 seconds later. HFY's hands froze over his control console as he watched the impossible unfold on his security monitors. His perception processors, evolved to track high-speed aerial combat, could barely follow the human's movements. Lisa moved like liquid lightning. Her first strike was a precise elbow that caught Vex Kull in his species' neural cluster, dropping him instantly. Without pausing, she pivoted and delivered what appeared to be a gentle tap to the Korthak's knee, a tap that produced an audible crack as the joint bent in a direction it was never designed to go. The 2 Centaurians attacked simultaneously from opposite sides, their 4 arms each wielding ceremonial combat blades. Lisa ducked under the first swing, grabbed both attackers, and used their own momentum to slam them together with sickening force. The Nexary tried to retreat, recognizing the tactical disaster unfolding, but Lisa's hand shot out and applied pressure to a specific point on his neck. He dropped unconscious before he could take a second step. The remaining 2 Altarians hesitated for a fatal instant. Lisa closed the distance between them in a single bound, her hands moving in quick, precise strikes that left both cadets crumpled on the corridor floor. Then she stood up, straightened her uniform, and looked directly at the security camera. "Medical teams to Service Corridor 7B, she said calmly. "Non-fatal injuries, but they're going to need attention." In the control room, Velnix's voice was barely a whisper. "Supervisor, how is this possible?" 7 elite trained combatants, all from warrior species. HFY was already calling the medical bay, his voice shaking. Emergency medical response, Corridor 7B, multiple casualties. And contact the disciplinary board. We're going to need new protocols. 20 minutes later, as medical personnel loaded the 7 injured cadets onto transport gurneys, Lisa sat quietly in the supervisor's office. Cadet Rodriguez, HFY began, consulting his disciplinary manual. While the attack upon you was clearly unprovoked, your response was excessive. Lisa looked up from her hands. Excessive? Sir, with respect, I held back significantly. On Earth, what they attempted would be considered assault with intent to cause serious bodily harm. My response was proportional self-defense. You hospitalized 7 cadets in 9 seconds. Yes, sir. Could have been 3 seconds, but I was trying to minimize permanent damage. Lisa paused. Did I succeed? None of them are permanently injured, are they? HFY checked the medical reports scrolling across his display. Concussions, broken bones, torn ligaments, bruised organs, serious injuries that would require weeks of treatment, but nothing that wouldn't heal completely. No permanent damage, he confirmed, then looked at her with something approaching awe. Cadet Rodriguez, how did you calculate such precise force applications under combat stress? I didn't calculate anything, sir. That was just instinct. Where I come from, you learn early how to defend yourself without causing unnecessary harm. Earth's a dangerous place. You have to be able to handle yourself, but you also have to know when to stop. The disciplinary hearing was brief. When the full security footage was reviewed, all charges against Lisa were dropped. The 7 attackers received formal reprimands and mandatory ethics training. More importantly, the Academy quietly updated its admission policies to include mandatory courses on interspecies conflict de-escalation and understanding Deathworlder capabilities. Lisa's only comment to the press was, I really did try to warn them.